to rescue a great country now adrift. Join me as together we seek a new vision for America. Today, I announce, with God's help, with the help of liberty lovers everywhere, that I am putting myself forward as a candidate for President of the United States of America.
Well, there it is, that official announcement yesterday from a certain Kentucky senator. That announcement made by the good Dr. Paul at the Galt House in Louisville, Kentucky. As we welcome you back to America's Forum with Miranda Kahn, J.D. Hayworth.
And Republican Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul are two of the Tea Party's biggest heroes. They're often lumped together as the leaders of a strong conservative movement that is regularly at odds with the GOP so-called establishment. But are the two candidates the same? Can they unite or divide the right in 2016?
And they're not going to be alone. There are going to be some more people coming in. At any rate, dealing with this dynamic and the fact that a whole lot more people are going to get in here. Let's welcome in our next guest. She's the co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots. It's our friend Jenny Beth Martin. Jenny Beth, thanks for Skyping in from Atlanta. So, how do you guys feel about a possible President Rand Paul?
Well, thanks for having me. And we're really excited to see that Rand Paul and Ted Cruz have both entered the race for the presidency. It shows that the Tea Party movement, which is only 6 years old, that our values of personal freedom, economic freedom, and a debt-free future resonate with Americans. We've elected senators, and now these senators are stepping up and running for the President of the United States.
Jenny Beth, not everyone on the right is actually buying into Rand Paul's so-called ideas. Take a listen to what Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina thinks about how Senator Paul would handle the Iran nuclear deal.
The best deal, I think, comes with a new president. Hillary Clinton would do better. I think everybody on our side, except maybe Rand Paul, could do better. So that's one way of looking at this program, keeping the interim deal in place that's been fairly successful, and have a new crack at it with a new president who doesn't have the baggage of Obama.
So you heard it, everyone except Rand Paul. What do you think of his comments?
It looks like Jenny Beth has frozen up a bit there. And we'll try to reestablish the contact.
She wasn't speechless, so it's just a technical error.
It is interesting the dynamic at work because, as we heard from Lindsey
we have her back.
Good.
We have her back.
Let's get back to Jenny Beth. Let her comment on what Lindsey Graham had to say.
Jenny, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. And Rand Paul would certainly do better than what President Obama is doing. And to say that he wouldn't do better than Hillary Clinton, I think is absurd. Hillary Clinton, when you look at her, what has happened under her watch, the world is on fire right now. And that's the legacy that she's left from her time as the Secretary of State. And I think that Rand Paul would certainly do better than that.
Well, the curious case of Lindsey Graham, who apparently wants to run for president. Jenny Beth, you know the situation in South Carolina when Lindsey ran for re-election. Whole lot of conservatives got in the race, and that let the establishment stick with Lindsey. Is that a cautionary note in terms of the dynamics of the upcoming 2016 presidential campaign? In other words, conservatives splitting the vote and allowing the establishment once again to have its choice?
Well, I think that what we've got right now is a lot of people who are announcing a lot of very good candidates, and we're going to watch and see how it all plays out. And there's a huge difference when you step up and run for president versus running for U.S. Senate. And the candidates that we're seeing right now, they have plans. The plans are very well thought out. And I don't think that we risk splitting the movement. What I think that we actually are going to see is that the movement enhances because we have so many people out there talking about our values as they run for president.
So if you had to pick, Jenny Beth, no pressure, but Ted Cruz or Rand Paul, who do you think falls in line more with what the Tea Party wants to see happen in 2016?
Well, luckily I don't have to pick, and I think that both candidates will do a much better job than what we have in the White House right now. And I am really excited that the Tea Party movement has done so much work and has worked tirelessly on our values, and that we have these great candidates who are stepping up to run for president.
And Jenny Beth, included in that group of senators who aspire to be president, a certain Republican from Florida, Marco Rubio, who's expected to announce his candidacy next week. Now, it's been interesting for Marco. He initially ran as a guy who was going to defend the borders. Then he was co-sponsor of that amnesty bill with the so-called Gang of Eight. Then he went to CPAC and said, gee, I was wrong. I've rethought that. Did that, quote, political confession help him with members of the Tea Party?
Well, I think that again, we've got another candidate who was elected because of the Tea Party values, and he's going to run for president based on the Tea Party values. So from the Tea Party's perspective, that is good because we have more people talking about our vision for the country. As far as he goes with immigration specifically and border security, I think that Senator Rubio made a mistake that oftentimes rookie senators and congressmen make, and that is listening to the people who've been in Washington for decades, people like Lindsey Graham, and listening to them rather than listening to their constituents and what the American voters actually want. And what Senator Rubio said when he was at CPAC, it indicates to me that he's listening to the voters and constituents again, and he doesn't intend to just listen to those who've been in Washington for decades.
Jenny Beth, which candidate do you think has the best shot at unifying the GOP?
I think that we've got quite a few candidates who have a very good shot at unifying the GOP. I think the most important thing to remember is that it's our values that will unify the GOP. The Republican Party has, for as long as I had been involved in the Republican Party as an activist before this Tea Party movement started, I thought they stood for smaller government. And that's what the Tea Party is about. So the more that the Republican Party embraces the Tea Party values, the more unified the Republican Party is going to be.
30 seconds. Let me just ask you this. Do you envision Tea Party support for an establishment favorite like Jeb Bush?
Well, I think that what we really have to, I think that we've got a lot of other options, and we've got people who represent the future of America. We've talked about Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Rubio. These are people who are the future of our country. When we look at people like Hillary and another Bush, I think that we're looking in decades past rather than the future.
Fair enough. Jenny Beth Martin, one of the founders of Tea Party Patriots. You see the website right there. Thanks very much for your time. A lot of people going to get in this thing, although life in the Senate cloakroom on the Republican side might be interesting with all these potential presidents out there.
Yes, and there's going to be a lot of them.
At any rate, time now to take the temperature of the nation with a Newsmax weather update.
Hey, I'm Jessica Reyes with your weather from coast to coast, and we'll start off by the northwestern portion, a lot milder for today. For your Wednesday, some rain into the Four Corners, but drier by the state of California, mainly sunny into Los Angeles, even into Las Vegas. And then we've got the severe thunderstorms that keep pushing through into parts of Texas, pushing northward into Oklahoma and even into Arkansas, bringing with it showers and thunderstorms. Until Wednesday evening and into Thursday night, we're expecting a low pressure to continue pushing up, lots of rain into the Great Lakes area. And then by the southwestern portion of the country, even into the Gulf of Mexico, a lot warmer for today, with daytime highs reaching the lower 80s. By the northwestern portion of the country, we are in for a soggy one, lots of rain and possible travel delays. Here are some of your daytime highs for your Wednesday.
And we thank Jessica Reyes for that update. I don't know if the weather board is contagious, though. She talked about that soaking cold rain in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sound like it got her voice. Jessica, we hope you feel better. And we want you to come back because there's more ahead on America's Forum.